Woohoo! Quack, 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 quack. Hello and welcome to Reginald ESQ. I'm Underhook and this is Dual Universe. In this video we're covering how to find ore or get to the best ore locations and how to calibrate, place and calibrate a mining unit. And I might, after I've done that, rave on a bit about a few things, but just to start with, all I want to do is get in quickly and show you how to do stuff. So first off, how do you find the best places and how does it work? Okay, well currently I'm on Simian. If I go into my map, and yes, my ship is meant to look like a goose, I've done over 130 scans on Simian and Iron. So they tend to have only 3 ores. So on this particular place, if I go in here and select my scans as active, you can see where I've scanned here in this area. And let's say we click on this square and it'll show us we've got bauxite 26, chromite 232 and garnerite 3. So those are the 3 prominent ores on Simian. And you tend to get a mix of all those. It also has a tier 4 and a tier 5 ore, but I have never seen a tier 4 or tier 5 yet. So they're obviously pretty rare. Anyway, if I look at, say, that's got 232. Alright, so see this is 192 chromite, right? So we've got more chromite than others. If I really wanted garnerite, I need to move far away from here because there's not much garnerite around here. Bauxite, a little bit away as well. But if I just go to the square down, one down from that, we could see chromite goes up to 232. If I go down again, it goes up to 254. And if I go to this one, which turns out to be the best one, it's 259. The others, though, are virtually non-existent. And if I go to the other ones, so all the ones next to this, you see this is 250, 258, 254, and this other one that's next to it is 251. But the actual one that I picked out as the center one is 259. So all of the ore is in like peaks. And so if you find something that's sort of getting up there, you start scanning the ones next to it and you'll see which direction it's going in, and you follow that direction and you'll get to the peak ore. And then you find the ones around it aren't that great. So in the game at the moment, currently, you can claim the hexes next to the ones you're on, and it gives you a 10% bonus to the ore you can mine. And then you can also place mining units on those as well, and you will get bonuses for those because they're also connected. But I'm not doing that currently. Alright, so that tells you how to find the peak of the ore. Now let's get into setting up a mining unit. What I did was I actually set these up, actually before the patch even hit, I set these little platforms up and made a blueprint of them so I can just place them down. As long as I've got the materials, I can just place them down. So I've got my core unit there, just these frames, and this is just, the mining units have to sit off the ground. You can make them hover, but I wanted to make it look good, so I put it on this, and I've carry a medium container. You can use whatever size container you want. You just got to have a container for the mining unit to put stuff into. So now we'll place a mining unit. We'll just go to build mode, and I should have one in my link container now. This is chromite on this place, so I'm going to use an uncommon mining unit rather than the normal basic mining unit. Alright, so I'll place that there. Then we just got to use our link tool, number 6 here, to link it to a container so it's got somewhere to put its goods. And we'll go to build mode, and now I just come up and activate, and we go into calibration mode. Now if you're in a place that has plenty of each ore, like if you're doing tier 1 ores, it'll come up with, usually you get all 4 ores in a tier 1 zone, but different amounts of each ore. And it will have the same, it'll probably have high spots and low spots where you get the most of a particular ore, but you still normally get a fair bit of the others. On the outer plans, you tend to get, like, if you go to a high amount of a particular ore, you end up with just that ore and that's it. And then the calibration moment is 0, which means I won't get anything. 0 liters. If the calibration comes out at 50%, then I would get 50% of 96% of that. Anyway, we'll start calibration. So calibration, there's a bunch of tools. Calibration is a balance of luck and skill. You can actually completely bum out on it. So this is a representation of our hex, and then we have a bunch of tools here we can use. The cone tool does a cone, which I'll show you in a sec, and it'll show you where in this circle, so the circle that you can see moving around now, where in that circle is the highest concentration of ore, and it points in the general direction. It also uses up battery, so you can see this battery here. Once I put this on the screen, you can see how much battery power it's going to use up. If you go below 25% battery power, which is here, then it actually affects your efficiency in mining, so don't go below that. It ends up stuffing it up. It's not good. It uses up about the same, sorry, it's better than the cone, but it is a smaller area than the cone. Actually, that was bigger a second ago. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, it shrunk again. Okay, so that's it. So it's more accurate than the cone, but it's smaller. Then you got a line, which basically just draw a line from this thing to anywhere, and it'll show hotspots in it. Then we've got an area, and this area can be changed by pressing Control and then scrolling the mouse wheel. As you can see, the bigger you make it, the more power it uses from your battery. And it will just reveal an area. So whatever area you put this on, it reveals the actual area and you can see what's there. And this point does the same thing. You just like hold that down. You can't change the size of this one. You just hold it down and reveal a tiny area. That might sound like it's not useful, but it actually is if you think you're really close, because it uses hardly any power. If you really think you're really close, you can just use this to actually nail it. So I might have a video of me doing that, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to show you a bunch of calibrations so I can work it out. No matter which way you use, you can actually not find the hotspot. So I'm just going to put this, oh actually not in the middle, I'm going to put this here so it's just touching one edge, and it will point in the general direction of the hottest area in here, but we still might not reach the peak. So it's saying that way. That's good, because then I can put one, say, here and see where that points. Okay, so I'm using 2 cones. So there's different techniques you can use. None of them are guaranteed. That's pointing completely the other way. Okay. So what I might do for this one is use the area now, but I'm only going to use a small area because it's probably right up against the edge somewhere. I'm going to take a risk and just put it here. And we found it. That's easy to see it. You can see on this little thing on the left here, this bar going up, and you can see these are sort of hot zones. You can so there will be a hot zone like this in here because this pointed to it. But the actual peak is right there, it's 100%, so we found it. So in this case, I don't have to do anything else. I will show you some more, so don't worry. So I set final calibration point, and then it just comes up with a little target, and you put that target there, and we'll hold this down again, and we'll get now 100% calibration. Well, it says 98% because my skills aren't very good. So if your skills are good, you'll get 100% for doing that. And our calibration gain is 61%. So if your skills are really good, that percentage will be higher. If, like I said, my skills are average. If your skills are really bad, that'll be lower. Also, we've got 2050 bonus ore, which will pop up and we can just go and mine that immediately. So that's the bonus ore. Set destination, because if you don't, you'll have to try and find it somewhere on your hex by yourself. So set that as destination, which I've just done. That'll appear on my map in a sec. And then we're done, so we close it. And we've calibrated now, so now we can start mining. And as you can see, I've got 96% of 106, and my calibration is 61%, so I'm getting 61% of whatever 96% of 106 is, and it works out to be 61.83 litres. Now, here's the trick. 106 litres is what my base rate is, what this is capable of, and that's what it's using up of the available pool. So the available pool of ore is 259. I've got 153 remaining, but this has taken 106 from that pool, even though it's only delivering me 61. So calibration skills are really important. And so if you're looking at mining, the key thing to boost is your calibration skills, because at the moment you see I'm only getting 61% of the 96% efficiency isn't too bad, but the 61% is terrible, and that's with medium skills. So you really want to boost up that skill. So yeah, because originally we thought that just putting more mining units on and not worrying about your calibration skill would be a way of doing it, just have more units. But because the unit uses up its maximum no matter what your skills are and what you're actually getting, that doesn't work out. You actually just lose a lot of ore potential. So potentially, if I've got really good skills, probably 2, maybe 3 mining units would be enough to get all the ore off this. Alright, so we'll close that. So that ore is now going into there, and I'm getting whatever it was an hour. What was it? 61 litres an hour. and that works every hour. So every day I'll have 24 times 61 ore in there. For those who are interested, here's my mining site set up with fuel production. So you can just set up little things like this. Anyway, onward. Because I'm an idiot, I forgot that I actually bought a couple of mining units to place on this site. So let's now place this one as well. I don't know why I thought I was only going to place one unit here, but anyway, I was wrong. That looks kind of centered. Place it there, we'll go unit tool. Okay, so there we go. Alright. And build mode, and let's go activate, and so we've got 153 remaining in that pool, huh? So I might just run 2 until let my efficiency increase a bit. So we're going to calibrate. Alright, start. Do we use the coin again? There is a strategy where you can just do a line and hope it goes through a sort of a hotspot. Look, let's do that. Let's just do the line tool so I can demonstrate it. I have got some other video which I did earlier of some other calibrations which I'll just let you watch and you can see. So this is like semi-warm. It's not much at all. It hasn't shown us much. I mean, we could do this and then sort of come down here and hope we hit something. It uses up a lot of power, though I think this tool uses up too much power for its value. They really need to change it. This will show us point directly to something in the area. I don't know, I really just think the cone is the best one to start with because the amount of energy it uses for what it gives you is pretty good. There's a bit of a warm zone there. I guess we could look there first, or even here. Let's try, say, here. It's pointing up there, so or at least we know the hotspot isn't here. Well, let's try looking where it pointed. Should we go a bit bigger? Oh, you don't need to hold the control key. You can just use your mouse wheel. Okay, I was wrong before. Let's put it here, and at least we might get close. We've got enough power to try something else after this if this doesn't work. Ooh, that looks pretty warm. Is there going to be a hotspot just here? I guess the lines... Yeah, see, the line tool's too expensive. Why would you do that when you can do the whole area for the same cost? What about this little point here? See that? It's looking bright around. I'm going to try using the point tool because it uses hardly any battery at all. It only runs a tiny area, but... Okay, so that's not much hotter than that. So that tells me probably not. I'm going to do another one up just over here, just to make sure. Yeah, see, I don't think it's going to be there. At the end, we'll see it. We'll reveal all. So, okay, so let's try something else. The unfortunate thing, too, with the line tool is it starts from wherever this thing is, and often that's in parts where you've already revealed stuff, and so you're wasting, for example, half your line travel going through areas you've already been through. So the line tool needs to be changed, in my opinion. I guess, look, we had this area here. We know it's not there. How much power is that going to use up? Yeah, let's do it. I think the cone is one of the best tools to start with. Yikes, right up here. If I go smaller, oh gee whiz, it's going to leave me with almost exactly 20. I don't know why, but the percentage that this takes is more the further away you get from a known area. It's kind of weird. Or the further you get from the cone, the more power it takes. Something weird about this circle thing. Alright, well let's just put it here and hope we're lucky. That's all the power we got. And we weren't. Alright, so now we've got to decide where to put it. Set final calibration point. I'm not getting much there. This is probably the best. It's over 50 at least. So not very good. How much is it in here? About 50. You can't, yeah. That's about the best spot right there. Damn it, only 53%. We'll get 1100 litres of chromite. Oh, I didn't go and get that other chromite. The other one was more, so I'm actually not going to... the other one will disappear. Oh, well, I forgot to go and correct the other chromite, so I'd lost it. Set destination, close, and now when we start... So 96% of 106, and we're only getting 47% of that, which works out to 47.83. So yeah, 47% of 100 would be 47, so it must be about 102. We're on one of the icier parts of Simeon now, and we'll just have a look and I'll show you how we found this one. So it's a bit hard to see on the yellow on the white, but we are on this hex here, which, show active results in container. So there we are. So this says 262 litres an hour of garnerite, which is a tier 3, so that's good, but hardly anything of the others. Now, if you look at the hexes around it, so one hex away, 260, 260, 255, 250, 257, 257, and back to 261. And the one we're on is 262, so it's the most. You could claim all the hexes around it too and get adjacency bonuses and have access to a lot of ore, but you're paying $1 million per site. So if I go over here, like a couple of hex away, we're down to 238, and this one we're down to 203, so we'll call it... Simgarn, then I'll know what it is. And... oh, there it goes. Alright, so there it is. We've got our core, we've got our container, we've got all that. Now I'll put a mining unit down. Now it's tier 3, so I need an advanced mining unit for this one. I've only got one because they're so expensive I can't afford them. I mean, I don't have a lot of money, so... Anyway, things happen because you don't know what's going to happen, unfortunately. Alright, so now linking tool... There we go, and let's calibrate. Calibrate. I never collected the ore on the other one. Oh, I'm so stupid. Alright. It's because I'm filming. Well, that's my excuse. So, at the moment, the calibrate isn't there. It's because for some reason you're going to click on this, even though it's the only available one. I guess if there's more than one, you have to choose. Alright, so I've got 262 garnerite, which should make us some money. 96% efficiency, and we will calibrate. Alright, I've got to be serious in this one because I really want this one to work. Start. So I'm going to plonk one of these down in the middle. So I've got some video of me really just experimenting with these, and I'll show you, I'll roll those ones after this. But I really want to find this one, so I'm just going to do what I think is the best way of doing it. I guess to turn the volume down on the computer. I just realised I turned it up and I was flying out here and I forgot to turn it down again. That's not an actual like peak hotspot, but it's a pretty good one. So at least we've got a fallback position, but it's not an actual... So that's what the cone was indicating. It was indicating that, because it shows you the hottest. It points sort of roughly towards the hottest area in that circle that you start with. So let's maybe think maybe it's over here. Well, it won't be there because it pointed there from there. So let's try and avoid that area as much as possible. Dunno. Maybe this is where I can use this line tool because it doesn't take up as much area. I'm going to put this here and see what happens. It doesn't use up a lot of energy, this arrow one. Okay, so it's saying the most in this area, which isn't very big, is just there. So maybe now we either use the small point, or maybe this is where the line is useful. Maybe this is where the line tool actually works, huh? Let's actually extend... it's expensive though. Alright, let's see what happens. Okay, so it was actually pointing to this bit just here. Yeah, useless. In this instance anyway. So we know there's nothing here. The only other place, maybe here somewhere. Can we afford another one of these? We can. Alright, let's do... but then can we... Yeah, alright, we're just going to do it. So this looks like one we might actually luck out here. If I do this, it's got to be no bigger than that. Since this is right up here, maybe it is in here right against the edge, so let's try doing that. It's not. Oh, we'll see at the end where it was, so I'm going to set the calibration point over here. There we go. Oh, it was right over here, right in the corner. Yeah, so when they're like that, it's just sheer luck whether you find them or not. So we got probably the second best place on the map, so 79%. Alright, I really do want to get this one because it's going right, so I'll set the destination. I will go back to the other one and I might be able to find that one. And closer, I've got 3 charges left. I think you only start with 2, but it builds up with skills, so you can only run calibrate a certain number of mining units a day, and I think calibration lasts about 48 hours and then it starts to sort of drop off. So we're only calibration's only at 47%. I thought it was better than that just then. Looks like higher tiers, maybe your calibration is less at higher tiers. Higher tier ore. So we're only getting 47 litres an hour. Ouch. Alright, so I just went and claimed the hex next to this one just to see what it would do, and you can see it's got plus 10% now. So it's 106 litres times 0.96, which works out I think to 101.7 or something like that, and then you multiply that by 47% and it works out to whatever it was 48 point something I think, or 47 point something. So then, I think it probably multiplies by this. At the moment it's 100%, so this figure just stays the same at 47 point something. But I think if that is lower, I think that might end up lower, you know, like after the calibration. So if I don't recalibrate this, I think the optimal will start to drop. I'm not sure about that yet. So it'll probably then multiply by that. And then, after all that, then the 10% gets added on. So the 10% doesn't get added on up here, which would be more beneficial. It gets added on to the smallest number, whatever you end up with. So the adjacency bonus is largely dependent on how well the rest of everything does. So realistically, you know, I've got an extra 4 litres out of Habitat, paying an extra $1 million. So, yeah, it's up to you how good you think that is. And fully up on your skills and you're getting like calibrations close to 100%, it'll probably be okay, but otherwise it might not be worth it. That pretty much concludes the video. In the background, running now at 3 times speed, there's a few more calibrations in case you just want to see how it works that way. The more I have done it, the more I realize it is almost pure chance. There's a little bit of skill as far as nailing a hotspot down once you sort of come across it, but really whether you find it or not is up to chance. It's kind of like a slot machine. It tries to make you think that you have some control over the outcome, but you don't really have much. I think the idea is that you won't get bored, because if it was based on skill, you just do the same way every time and get it every time. But because it's not, because it's mostly luck, I guess it tries to stop you getting bored with it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more, consider subscribing to Reginald ESQ and have fun.